Hi guys, welcome to the second episode of Off the Record for the Orion here at Chico State. I'm Nicole.
Hi, I'm Susan.
I'm Robert.
We all work for the Opinion Section. Today we're going to talk about a few stories that have been in this week's coming edition and the past few weeks. We're going to talk about Cesar Chavez, Trump's budget, and American culture. You guys want to start with Trump's budget?
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So my article on Trump's budget is just my, it's somewhere where we probably agree that we're just, my discontent towards Trump's attitude towards science and the environment. And it's very scary, very frightening that he just takes such a staunch attitude towards the EPA.
Very severe choices that he's made in the budget, and seems like a lot of people are just agreeing with him. And
his Trump supporters don't criticize him at all.
No, we tried looking up some stuff and
nothing.
Not very valid points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We could, that's the thing. We were both trying to find a rational argument against that. We just couldn't find it.
What specifically did he do to the budget?
He just cut education. He cut the
EPA.
The EPA. He cut labor. He cut commerce. But it wasn't just maybe it was more than 15%. This is just really exactly. And he increased the military spending over 50. I think it was over 50%. It was it's just crazy.
And the thing that I noticed is that he increased defense spending more than Barack Obama and George W. Bush combined. But he lowered the Veterans Affairs budget spending. So it kind of doesn't really make sense that you would increase defense, but then once those military men and women come home, where's their resources? Because I know that there's a lot of veterans who can't get the access to resources they need now under Obama's budget. So why would Trump lower that budget and think that it's somehow going to make these issues better? And no one's coming out and saying anything about it.
And it's just it's funny because the right wing are he's increasing spending for veterans. And it's he's it's less than what Obama's plan had released when he first got into office, and it was just it's just sad. It's just it's so sad.
And then especially him not caring about the environment so much, and the global warming hoax and climate change hoax.
Exactly.
If you cut research and spending, then everyone will just stay ignorant to the issue and not really understand what if something actually is happening? Take your politics aside, this could be a bipartisan issue, but if you take funding away, we'll just never know.
So you guys want to talk about Cesar Chavez next. I actually wrote this article. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll explain what it is again.
I wrote about how Cesar Chavez is fine. We have a day off. Students are going to drink no matter what. It's college, whatever. But the problem is when they start wearing sombreros and drinking tequila in honor of Cesar Chavez. That's my issue with the whole holiday here in our community, at least.
I personally don't care. I mean, I don't care. It just people will celebrate St. Patrick's Day by doing the same exact thing, and then it's just it's just not a big issue for me. It's just I don't know. I feel like it actually helps Cesar Chavez in a way, because people were like, oh, who's Cesar Chavez? We're celebrating this guy, and we might as well find out something. Obviously that's not what most people do, but some people will actually be informed about it through the activities that go on.
Yeah, that is a good point. And you mentioned St. Patrick's Day, and I'm Irish, and I don't really get offended by people drinking and wearing green and kind of some ridiculous stereotypes about Irish people, but at the same time they weren't as oppressed, and still today, especially with everything going on in our country now, they were treated horribly when they came over here, but it's not an ongoing issue it is, I think, kind of with both Hispanic and Latino heritage.
Exactly. I think the only thing in there where I would argue is just I don't see any oppression today at all. I think it's just a whole bunch of just sensationalized kind of crap that goes on.
I can see what you're saying, but there's still the cultural appropriation of so we think it's okay to wear sombreros, but when those people actually want I wouldn't say what's the word, like, not equal rights, but, like, just, like, to be, like, immigration, like, the whole issue with that, like, if we're gonna wear sombreros and, like, talk about their culture, like, that one day, like, how great it is, like, why don't we respect that culture every day?
Well, I think it's not like people just go, like, from hating Mexican, hating Hispanics and just loving them from one day to another. It's like they just choose. It's like when it's like 4th of July, you know, like people choose people who aren't even American or like, you know, immigrants will be like, okay, it's 4th of July, you know, let's talk about how great America is, and then they'll go the next day and they won't, like, just be like, hey, America sucks, and this and it's just that's just not how people think. It's just not how people view.
Yeah, I wrote this article, and I interviewed a lot of Chico State students about what culture that they identify with, whether it be their American culture or their ancestral heritage culture that they were raised with. So I got a lot of different responses from that article.
Yeah, no, the only problem I think is just, like, it's not really what she, like, said her opinion on the whole issue. I think it's just more like one of the interviews that she did, one of the girls said that she was raised in the U.S., but she identifies as Salvadorian, and it's just like that. For me, I get a little, like, it's just like I don't feel like there's enough patriotism amongst minority communities, and I feel like there should be, just because, like, this is the country that's, you know, you're growing up in. This is the country that's giving you your life, and you're not giving them at least a little bit of credit, you know. And that's what just bothers me. Like, I identify as American, you know, and then I'm Nicaraguense second, like. But the thing is that my family in Nicaragua will get mad at me for saying that, you know. But it's just like I mean, like, it's just something that, like, you need to, like, I don't care that they get mad at me for saying these things. It's just like, this is where I grew up. I love this country, and yeah.
I can understand, like, why someone would say that, just because I can see that if you're raised in a country where you go to public school and you learn about, like, European history, European colonization, like Columbus Day, and all the history books you read is pretty much from, like, a European white perspective.
Exactly, yeah.
And I could just, like, I can't put myself in that place because I don't fully understand what it feels like, but I mean, I can just imagine being in another country and not relating to that at all. Like, where's my voice? Like, where's the voice of my ancestors and my family?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, if you grew up in Nicaragua, you wouldn't know anything. It'd be all, you know, from a Nicaraguense's perspective, and then would you be, like, complaining about how, well, see, what about the white voices in Nicaragua?
No.
It's like
yeah,
exactly.
But it's hard because I think, like, a lot of white people, and I even hate just saying white, but, like, European white skin. And I know, like, a lot of people disagree with me on this, and there's a lot of articles out there, like, white people, I think, are more, and there's no, like, no studies on this, like, I think more white people are more inclined to kind of, like, shed their, like, it's hard to explain, like, shed their culture and, like, be like, this culture is so much better than mine, which kind of goes into the culture appropriation, like, aspect as well. Like, if I'm in Nicaragua, like screw, like, America, like, this is so much better, like, it's so much more, like, authentic and real, and that's just, and I know, like, I get a lot of crap for saying that.
Yeah, I think it's just different from where you're raised, like, right, I mean, I grew up in LA, so, like, it was very, like, around Hispanic, so it's like, I didn't really get that American.
Yeah, I'm from San Diego.
Yeah, so. Exactly, but I think, like, people growing up in the South, like, that's an American culture right there. That's true. That
which is, like, what one of my interviewees said, is, like, that she's Norwegian, but doesn't really relate to that, and because she relates to, like, patriotism, and a lot of countries don't have patriotism like America does. So do I not identify with American culture because, like, you know, like, I'm from San Diego and we don't have, like, that Southern, like, American culture.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's why I think, like.
But I still think that's, I mean, yeah, I don't know, I still think it's just something to be proud of, even though you're, like, even if you aren't a part of that, like, culture.
Yeah, and I think that's why, and some people find, like, subcultures, which I mentioned, someone in the article that I interviewed mentioned, is that they relate to CrossFit as their subculture.
That was so odd. That was just so weird. It's like, of all the subcultures, like, CrossFit, like, CrossFit. I
think it's just, like, I mean, I don't do CrossFit, but I can understand, like, doing, like, an activity, like, that you feel more involved in and more a part of. Like, he said, like, his family was religious and conservative, and he doesn't relate to that. So if you don't relate to the family or culture that you were brought up as. Like, where do you turn to?
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that though. Yeah, because like I grew up in the relatively conservative religious. Yeah, exactly. And just I don't. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, no, I don't like that stuff. That's boring.
I don't agree with any of my family.
Okay. Thank you guys for tuning into Off the Record. Be sure to tune in next week and follow us on Twitter at the Orion_news and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. I'm Nicole.
I'm Susan.
I'm Robert.
Peace out.